As part of HKTDC's mission to Africa, we went to East Africa and specifically to Kenya. And it was there that Louis Chan, our economist, decided to have a look at the opportunities that Hong Kong traders could have. And so Louis, really looking at the market there in Kenya, what is it that they would particularly be wanting from Hong Kong traders?
First of all, the country is the largest in East Africa, accounting for 40% of the aggregate GDP of the region, 30% of the total population of the region. Actually, we visit the capital city of the country, which the most formal developed industry of retail and logistics. Actually, the country is rather promising in terms of economic prospects.
So are these really basic goods at the right price?
For sure, because actually the country, of course, given its level of economic development and GDP per capita and other economic indicators, it is still not yet a market for every items. So if you look at the Hong Kong trade statistic figures, you will see that actually more than 90% of our exports to the country last year were electronics and textiles and garment, and of which a lot of them are parts and components and sort of lower priced items.
So do you see Kenyan consumers looking at the bottom end of the market, or do you see them looking at value for money but looking upwards?
The per capita GDP of the country was some 800 US dollars, and is already the biggest or the highest in the region. But you cannot just rely on that figure or the number to judge the purchasing power of people there, because if you've been there, you will see that actually a lot of transactions are not done in the formal sector. There is actually a pretty sizable informal sector in the country, meaning that a lot of transactions are not officially documented.
So that's the Kenyan market itself. But what about the Kenyan market as a gateway to that part of East Africa?
If you're talking about the gateway character or feature of the country, you have to talk about the city of Mombasa. The city of Mombasa has long been named the City of Merchants. It is also home to the port of Mombasa, which has once been described by the World Bank as the most important asset of East Africa. The port of Mombasa nowadays always serves as the most important sea hub for countries surrounding Kenya. For instance, Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania, even some Central African countries like Democratic Republic of Congo. So you can see that actually the country is also right now building some oil pipes with South Sudan to foster and strengthen its regional connection with countries nearby. So you can see how other countries are leveraging on Kenya to move their goods in and out of their countries.
So what are the best ways that Hong Kong traders can actually do business with people in East Africa?
African countries are different from those in developed markets like the US, Europe, or Japan. You cannot just simply find somebody to send goods to, but you have to find someone reliable. And to do so, we have found that actually there are some very good multipliers in the countries which are official and reliable, including the country's investment authority or the National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. They have a very good database of reliable importers, distributors, and buyers to which we can start our business with. And also, Hong Kong companies can rely on trade fairs or conferences in Hong Kong to get in touch with Kenyan buyers. For instance, last year, Hong Kong Trade Development Council received more than 180 buyers from Kenya who are, of course, good contacts to get into.